shapes with different fill options. So first of all, here's your standard shape tool. If you click on it, you can see there's a bunch of different options in here: arrows, callouts, equations. So I'm going to go with a simple shape. I'll do this kind of rounded square. And you notice by default, it already fills in the shape. If I want to change the color, if I click here on the paintbrush, you can see I can either do solid colors or gradients. You also have this option for custom, where you could do all these different changes for, in this case, my gradient, or if I was on a solid color and went custom, you can see you have your color and your hue picker. Okay, so if you really want to do some kind of fine color, like any shape, you can resize it. The little dot lets you rotate it. Several of the shapes have this little triangle. If you click on the triangle, it'll see you do things like change kind of the dimensions of the shape. So in this case, I can make it a little bit, more rounded. A hint that on the Mac, if you click on Option and drag a shape, you can also make copies of it. So if you wanted this same shape in the same size with different colors, you could drag and make several copies, and then just go in and change your colors as needed. So that may or may not save you some time. So you can also search the web for shapes. Obviously, that would kind of limit you in terms of what you can find based off of what the shape is. So I could do a yellow circle, for example, and that'll bring up some specific shapes. I can see what works best, so I will pick this one. Depending on what you search for, you may also want to add transparent background to the search. In this case, this one already has a transparent background because you can see the other shape behind it, but sometimes it'll give you a white background around the shape. So you may want to change that. You also have, right now it's on the line tool, but this is basically your Freeform shape tool. If I click on it, some of the options I have are curve and polyline. So if I select curve, that lets me start drawing a line. And then when I click, it sets a point that I can then kind of bend. And once I hit whatever my original point is, it'll fill in that line. I can then use my selection tool to resize, and I could rotate that image if I wanted to. And all my other color options would still work for that shape. I'll also note that for any of these shapes that you select using your selection tool, you also have the option to change the line color for the shape, and you can change the line thickness. Now back to my freeform, the other option besides curve you may want to look at is polyline. What that lets you do is select, and wherever you click, it does kind of straight lines instead of curved lines, but you can go in and make whatever shape you need to, and when you get back to the end, it'll close it up, and again, your fill, your line tools, and when I select it, my reshape and rotate tools will still work for that. So hopefully that gives you a plethora of tools you can use and look at for your shapes.